Tonight, Rush Limbaugh goes on the record in a rare face-to-face interview in his radio studio in Florida. So did you see the press conference?
Well, of course I was. You know, the first thing, before we get into the health care aspect of this, I have to tell you, we learned last night that President Obama did listen to Reverend Wright all those 20 years.
Why do you say that?
The last question, on the arrest of Henry Louis Gates, I mean, he was more animated, he came more alive, he was more passionate on that last question from Lynn Sweet in Chicago about the arrest and calling the cops stupid. I'm telling you, this is... There's an undercurrent here. I think Obama is largely misunderstood by a lot of people. I think his associations in his young life and early adult life mattered. The people that mentored him matter. And we're finding out this guy's got a chip on his shoulder. He's angry at this country. He's not proud of it. He talked about health care last night, never once talked about the greatness of our health care. Once again, when it comes to something American, he criticizes it. He lied through his teeth I don't know how many times during that press conference last night. He either is uninformed on the details and doesn't care about them and just has this ideological theory he believes in that he's going to try to get this thing passed, because it really isn't about health care. The one thing, if I could tell people that you're giving me an opportunity to tell them on your network, this is not about health care. It's not about health insurance. But did you notice the change in terms last night? Health care insurance.
What does that mean?
Well, everybody thinks that we need better health care. We've got the best health care in the world. His program is health insurance. But you realize, Greta, now you're a lawyer. You know there is no way we can insure our health. We can't insure our health. What health insurance is you taking a risk, paying a premium, what you think it's worth to guard against something catastrophic.
It's gambling. A little bit. Insurance is gambling.
In a way, but we've got great health care here. We don't need to redo this. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with this. He's running it down. We've got health care that is better than anywhere else in the world. My point, he doesn't talk about this. When it comes to his jobs plan, the stimulus plan, lied through his teeth. We're bringing the deficit down. We are creating jobs. We're saving the economy. This is very difficult for me to say because it's drastic, but he's doing the exact opposite. President Obama and the Democrats are destroying the U.S. economy. They are purposely doing it, I believe. I think if the real reason he wants health care is because when he gets it, that is the single greatest power the government will have to regulate every aspect of our lives. And that's what Obama is. And that's what the Democrats, the liberal wing of the Democrat Party today is, total control. These people want nothing, as little liberty and freedom for the American people as possible, and health care ensures it. They can deny people coverage based on their lifestyles. They can dictate what you eat, what you don't eat, if you're going to get this precious health insurance. This is a dastardly thing here that's being done. And he says things during the course of interviews that should just scare people to death. During that ABC infomercial, asked the president a question on health care. Greta, I could not believe an American citizen stood up, a woman, and essentially asked Obama, look, my 100-year-old grandmother needed a pacemaker. And the first specialist said, no, she's 100 years old. I can't do any more for her. Went to another specialist. Yeah, this woman's got a lot of spunk. I'll put the pacemaker in. She's now 105, living fine. This woman asked the President of the United States if, during your health care days, your health care plan, are we going to take into account somebody's spirit and love of life? And Obama essentially said, well, we're going to get to a point here where 100 years old, they'll be better off taking a pain pill. A citizen of the United States asking the president, are you going to not kill my mother? I can understand Fidel Castro being asked that question, or Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, or some of the other dictators, but I can't believe that these kind of questions are being asked of the president of the United States, because it's not his decision who lives and dies in this country, but he wants it to be. And he wants it to be the prerogative of his party to determine who gets born and who doesn't, and who has end-of-life problems that are dealt with and not. This is hideous. This is not about health care. It's about control. It's about remaking the country, the economy. Proof of my point here that the Joblessness is on purpose. If your number one signature issue is health care, and his is, and if, which is true, that health insurance is not portable when you lose your job, what's the best thing you can do for yourself? Create unemployment. The more people unemployed, the more people losing their health insurance, the more people scared to death, the more people clamoring for it. Please save my health insurance. Please give me health insurance. I'm scared of it because they've been drummed into the fact that there's something in this country killing them every day, from coffee to nicotine to whatever it is. So all of this destruction is taking place. Redistribution of wealth. He wants to return the nation's wealth to its rightful owners. He thinks, look at healthcare last night. He said, well, you are going to get gold-plated coverage. You're going to get the best coverage in the world, and millionaires are going to pay for it. A couple millionaires are going to pay for it. Totally untrue. It's going to cost everybody untold amounts of money. Everybody's not going to be covered for everything that happens to them, but that's what people think he's offering, and he's not. You know, you're a lawyer. We talk about rights. And they're saying health care is a right. If government can take it away from you, Greta, it isn't a right. And government can take away your health care if they decide you're too old and too sick, that investing whatever expense would be to prolong your life is not worth it. You don't get the coverage. That's where we're headed. The only way he can make any pretense of saving money. So I think this is a bad guy. I think
a bad guy or a different ideology than you?
Well, this is the most radical liberal that has ever assumed this degree of power in the country. In our history, this is I've never seen anything like this. I mean, we are destroying the economy. He's not fixing it. He's not rescuing it. The numbers tell the tale. The wealth that has been lost. When you look at the jobs that have been lost, let's look at it another way to try to convince you. Jobs have been lost. That means what also has been lost? Revenue, tax revenue to the Treasury. Now, we're running, with his own plans, $10 trillion of deficits over the next 10, maybe 12. There's no money coming in. Tax receipts are way down. The states are experiencing the same thing because people are out of work. If they're out of work, they're not paying taxes. They're not even concerned. The purpose of taxes is to raise revenue to run the government responsibly. That's not his purpose. His purpose, the tax code, is to reorient society, punish achievers. We are printing money. We are printing money that people not even born yet haven't even earned. That's how in debt we are. We can't. This is not sustainable. We cannot go on this way. And I'll go even further. I'll give you your headline and your promo line for the show tonight.
Okay.
I maintain to you that nobody who is economically literate, economically experienced, and understanding would dare do what we are doing if their objective was growth and jobs. The world has proved it historically over and over. This country, we've tried this on a limited range before. It doesn't work. We know how to stimulate growth and jobs. You incentivize people in the private sector. How do you do that? You reduce the financial burdens. You cut their taxes. You get out of their way in forms of regulation. We need people going back to work. We need people working. We need the country humming. We need the economy coming back. That's not happening. And they're talking about a second stimulus. And now their excuse is, well, we didn't intend it to work this year. That was always going to work next year. And there's nothing in the stimulus bill anyway that's about job creation. This is all about helping state governments with their budgets and transferring. Well, there's no job creation in it. It's 6 months in. It isn't working. Anybody can see it isn't working. There is an easy fix to this. It's the exact opposite of what Obama's doing. That's what's my contention, that this has to be being done purposefully.